Hey guys, thanks for joining us again for another episode. Today I'm going to tackle an investment strategy wrapped around Jared Stidham, the potential new New England Patriots quarterback. Stick around, stay tuned, and we'll get right into it. Okay, first off, let me say I am not a New England Patriots fan. I'm actually a diehard New Orleans Saints fan. So after 3 years of heartbreaking playoff losses, the last team that I really root for or pull for at all is the New England Patriots. Respect them, but I was not sad to see Tom Brady leave in the offseason. Now, he did come to the NFC South Bucks, our division rival, so we'll see how that goes. But I guess with Jared Stidham in the wings, waiting in the wings, I wanted to talk a little bit about him and just kind of my thoughts around him being a good football card investment moving forward. And so first off, let me say that I thought that he looked great. Granted, it was the preseason, but last year in the preseason he was pretty lights out. For anybody that watched it, and you can go back and take a look at some of his highlights, but Stidham looked like the real deal, and he did not have a lot of the weapons. Everyone kind of says Tom Brady didn't have any weapons this year. Jared Stidham was throwing to the same guys, granted to probably second and third string defenses at times, but he looked really good for a rookie. Um, and so I think that he's worth just looking a little bit closer at over a lot of the other rookie quarterbacks or second year quarterbacks, up and comers like maybe a Will Greer, or some of the others. Although I really do like Will Greer. But so going back to the Patriots in general, first off, I'm a big believer in Belichick. You're either on one side or the other with the Belichick wins the Super Bowls or Brady wins the Super Bowls, or maybe it's a combination of the two. But here's my thing: is the AFC East is still not a strong division. Okay, the Patriots have won it. I don't know what it's some crazy number, 18 out of the last 20 years or something. I do think the Bills are going to win the division this year. I think they're going to take them over, especially after picking up Diggs. But I am never going to count against Bill Belichick as far as him putting together a good team next year. Even though Tom Brady's not going to be on that team, I have no doubt the Patriots are going to be good. I still think they're going to be a playoff team. They're not going to go 3-13. They're going to be viable. So the other piece is that I haven't seen the Patriots really look hard at a veteran quarterback. They brought in Brian Hoyer, who they've liked as a vet, but there's been a lot of talk about Cam Newton, being available, and maybe they're gonna trade for Andy Dalton, pick up Andy Dalton, but none of that's really happened, and there hasn't really been much talk out of the Patriots organization about really making that sort of move, other than that they're just not doing it. And to me, I feel like they would have already done it. If they were going to pick up, an Andy Dalton, they would have already done that. And so, maybe they're looking to the draft for that quarterback, but again, I kind of doubt that too. I mean, they have Stidham, who's already got a year in the system. He had a year under Tom Brady to work and learn. And it's kind of like, why would they pick a QB round one and plug that QB in when you already have Stidham that already had a strong preseason, has a year in the system? Unless one of these top tier guys falls that they really, really like, I just can't imagine them doing that. So I really feel that that Jared Stidham is going to be that week one starting quarterback. Maybe it's Brian Hoyer, but I think that Stidham is going to win out. And Hoyer, he's always been brought in as a backup quarterback and kind of a mentor type figure. And I think that he's going to do that again. And maybe Hoyer is the starter, but I think at some point Stidham starts next season, whether it's week one or week 8. I just feel like Stidham is the guy. How does this affect card prices? So I think there's a few different factors here. I've been buying up. I don't believe I have any graded Stidham cards. I only have raw cards, and I recently picked up 5 optic hollow cards, rookie cards of his, and I picked them up on average for about $40, right on average. I mean, it's probably like $40.75 if you average them all out. And I've also picked up some select concourse and some of these other sets where I just feel like the pricing it's undervalued right now. And with football season not quite here yet, it's on the horizon. But once the draft hits, I think then you start to get hype starts to build, and especially if basketball season doesn't start back up again, then a lot of these investors and collectors are going to turn to the NFL and football cards to get that fix, assuming that the NFL is going to start on time. So, that's something that, that has to be taken into account. When I look at Stidham's Optic Holos, I try to look at best case scenario. And for me, best case scenario, if we're looking at last year's football class, as far as cards go, it was Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. So if I'm looking at Lamar Jackson's Optic Holos, those they can go for anywhere from $80. They've gone as high as $300 for raw Optic Holos, Lamar Jackson. So, it's a card that has a pretty high ceiling. If I'm buying at $40, $300 is kind of where I'm seeing a ceiling for that card. Mahomes, similar fashion, $350. I think I saw maybe high threes on a couple of sales in the past. But really, those are the two guys where, anywhere from $80 to $300, that's really kind of the range that we're looking at. So for me, if my goal is to double my money, before I'm flipping, to me, as long as Stidham starts, if they name him week 1 starter in the preseason, his prices I believe will rise. I think that they will be $80, $90, $100. If he has some success during the season, if he gets on a little bit, starts season strong, gets on a little bit of a win streak and some hype builds, then you see them at, they could possibly be $150, $200, and that's a point where we probably look to sell off. Maybe we're selling off 2 or 3 of them at that point and holding a couple of them just in case they're, going to the Super Bowl, winning the Super Bowl, and they go up that much more. But, to me, I'm very comfortable selling at $80. I'm very comfortable if it goes up anything above $80 and double my money now I'm talking $80 net after, paying fees. So really it's probably a $100 sale. Anything that's $100 and more, I'm probably moving those cards because, again, I'm not a diehard New England Patriots fan. We're talking from an investment standpoint, and I'm not tied to that. There's not an emotional tie, and you can't really have an emotional tie. You have to buy with the idea of, okay, here's my markers. Once we hit $100, we're selling off, or once we hit 150, we're selling off, and you have to stick to those. And that's kind of the key to this, is not getting too wrapped up emotionally. And then also from a buying standpoint, if it was up to me, I'd just buy Drew Brees and Taysom Hill rookies and Alvin Kamara rookies as a Saints fan. But I can't do that because I wouldn't make money doing that. So that's what we've got to kind of wrap our head around and make sure we stay focused through the process. So my plan is to kind of detail the journey of this flip, and like I said, I bought 5 of the Optic Holos. I've shown them here above for Jarrett Stidham, and I've got a few more, and I do have some autos of his that are in his Auburn his Auburn uniform, and so we'll see where those go. But I'm really focused on these 5 holos, and I'll do an update video down the road when I do end up flipping, or if I decide to hold, I'm going to do an update video on this one. So stay tuned. There's going to be more of these type videos because I want to share kind of investment strategies, thought process behind them, and also get your thoughts. So comment below, please subscribe for more videos coming, and we will talk to you guys later. Thanks again for joining.